Well, shortly after Trump's declaration, Iran has struck a defiant tone, framing the U.S. decision to be a full clampdown. Now, as far as the leaders are concerned, they have flatly denied that there were any negotiations that took place at all, because they have been now claiming what President Trump is saying, and rather what he's trying to project is nothing but fake and manipulative as far as when it comes to easing the certain pressures of the financial and oil markets that Iran believes will help the US and Israel escape their own quagmire of making. Now, in a series of posts, the Iranian leadership has now declared that the people have now demanded that there should be a complete and remorseful punishment of the aggressors. So, Rishabh, there is no backing down, at least from the Iranian side, said that we didn't start the war, but we will finish it. And there are a set of guarantees and demands that it is now kept forth.
Well, if we talk about Iran, Amita, Iran is still very defiant. Moments after Donald Trump said that there was a detailed discussion about complete peace in Middle East, these were the words of Donald Trump, Iran came out and said that there is no discussion between Tehran and Washington. There is no direct call between Tehran and Washington. The Speaker of the Iranian Assembly, Iranian Parliament for that matter, categorically said that this is being done just to manipulate the oil market as well as the markets worldwide, and there is no direct discussion between Iran and US. Who is correct here is the major question. Whether what Donald Trump is saying is correct or whether what Iran is saying is correct. Sadly, none of them are completely true. While, yes, there are back-channel talks between Iran and US happening, is it happening directly? No. So which means that Donald Trump is speaking his part of the truth, while Iran says their part of the truth. And the actual on-ground situation is that, yes, there are back-channel talks, but Tehran and Washington are not directly engaged as we are speaking. Countries like Turkey, Egypt and Pakistan reportedly have open channels between Washington and Tehran, and they're using their diplomats, their representatives in both the countries to open a channel of talk and broker peace is something that we are given to understand.
Well, that hasn't been specified on part of the President of the United States, because if he's to be believed in his previous statements, then as all of Iranian leadership that he has said has been wiped out. And then who to engage with exactly to hold negotiations or talks in the first place. But as far as US is concerned, is there a plan B on troops at the ground? Is that still a consideration on part of Pentagon, because it is now been weighing in on the troop deployment of the 82nd Airborne on Iran that seems to be on standby? Shinjoy, this development is coming at a time, what is being said through reports, that nearly 3,000 troops are now ready for a rapid move. If the call comes in from the President or from the US Central Command, then Kharg Island could be the possible next target as far as boots on the ground is concerned.
That's been spoken of earlier as well. The 82nd Airborne, of course, along with the 101st, are two of the best divisions the Americans have. Now, they and the Marines are being talked about, and boots on the ground on Kharg Island is very different from boots on the ground on the mainland. It's actually militarily much more manageable than boots on the ground in Iran. If you have to go into Iran, then 3,000 troops will be nothing. Absolutely nothing. The maximum you can do, and that was also planned, and how successful that would have been remains to be seen, is to control the land area in close to the Strait of Hormuz. Now, if that was so, that too would not have been particularly easy. But yeah, to control Kharg Island is much more manageable, much more militarily possible, much more militarily feasible than go into the mainland. That would have been disastrous in the long run, particularly in terms of casualties. Kharg Island, if given a choice, if the military is given a choice and asked which is militarily possible, then any military planner will say Kharg Island. But it's a political decision and a diplomatic decision, because here you have the President of the United States already talking about a 5-day pause.
Yeah.
And that 5-day pause is not even a 5 hours old now. We still have a long way to go. It was supposed to have begun at, the fighting was supposed to have begun at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
When I say fighting, I mean strikes, serious strikes on power facilities were to have begun at 5 o'clock or so.
Yes, and that is when the 48-hour deadline would have ended, you know, according to the previous statement that came in from President Trump. But as I said, when it comes to the versions, there are multiple, there are different. And what's coming in from the US side, what's coming in from Israel side, and what's coming in from the Iranian side. Because what we talk about exactly, who initiated this war? There have been now this